Hey everyone, it's new day and we are recording new video for our economics playlist. In this video, we are going to read about what should a person read in order to understand what economists think. What to read to understand how economists think. Our senior economist writer pick 5 books for those starting out to study the subject. Basically, in this video we are going to discuss what are the resources a person should read in order to understand how economics think. Economics has a reputation as a dry, heartless subject full of boring equation. The reality is more interesting. Thinking like an economist, it is felt compromises two main features. The first is always to think about trade-off. There is no such thing a free lunch. Milton Friedman said, "When something gets something, they almost always give something up in return. If you go out with your friend, you won't have time to go to gym. If an economy wages goes up, dividend might go down, or inflation might go up, and so on. The second is to try when possible to put number on the things. When we say the China's long lockdown are strict, what to do actually mean? If you think job quality is getting worse every year, how you are going to measure that? Sometimes it's not going to quantify ideas, but is always good to try. The economist coverage, we always try to remember these two lessons. Here are 5 books I should like. Capitalism by Milton Friedman, University of Chicago Press, 2000, 270 pages. Ignore the fact that Friedman was ultra libertarian. It does not it does not matter. Very often his agreement was plain wrong. This that does not matter either. This book is perhaps the best way to learn the think out trade-off, because that was how Friedman always thought about the world. For instance, consider minimum wages. Friedman accept Friedman expect that the people who receive them take home more money, but then the trade-off comes to me. What he asked about people who are now brushed out of the labor market or take regulation or medicine unnecessary. He says, yes, you may save some lives by insisting that pharmaceutical companies just jump through hoops before taking a drug to market. A few dangerous drugs are sold, but those reviews will also cost life, he says. While delaying the delivery of safe drugs to patients in 2006, we published the article in our magazine. In cheerful conversation style, Hale Warner take the reader through the writing earliest economist, the world's waterly philosophers. Hale Warner take the reader through the writing of the earliest economists, explaining why their ideas were revolutionary. Adam Smith did not have such data in hand, what he put to his argument when he could. So did Karl Marx, who gathered data from newspaper and parliamentary report. Marx was also big believer of trade. He argued, for instance, that the world has no endure of capitalism in the short term in order eventually to reach socialist utopia in long term. David Richard to think through the trade-off involved in economic activity. For instance, in this theory of comparative advantages, it's a great use number. What you have to careful. This book is a specialist in African economics, so how important is actually a lot of economists purge data from African into seeking explains. For instance, the social trust is in higher. For instance, in 2025 15, the GDP of South Sudan was either unchanged from a year before or shrink by 12-11% depending on whether you believe in IMF or the World Bank, which we reviewed those in upfront about the limitation of data sources. Another is try to fancy analysis using descriptive strategy rather than attempt to tease out causality. This is less than prestigious or less impressive, but it may produce results that are likely to stand and test of time. Capitalism alone. This book is to read if you want to understand the why capitalism, the economist, way to think. has trampled the world for. By the beginning of 1990, it was clear that the capitalist system has been defeated the communist one. Today, however, many people yearn to move a new system, such as medieval socialism. A left-leaning socialist, Mr. Malanovic, sympathizes with this feeling, but ultimately he finds many radical prescription unconvincing. A country which tried to democratize on a scale always envisaged by socialists would be, he says, be unstable and dissatisfied in other ways, shifting toward a much shorter working week, for instance, which would include poorer than ever. For how long would people put up with that? Capitalism is far from perfect, yet too hard to shake notion that is the only system that broadly works. Mm. Last one is Freakonomics, a rogue economist explore the hidden side of the everything. This book is so much that it is a clinic to choose it, but if you haven't read it, you really should. Fundamentally, it goes through lots of fun examples showing how policies can unintended for example, for a nursery impose a fine or a parent we are late to pick up kids. More parents turning up late. The fine has been advantarily or more destruction. Yeah, you can read it, but that's not the five best book to understand AI. What to read and what to make sense. Energy crunch. Let's. Economy is mostly just not a good at discipline. Micro can be pretty useful at individual, but macro is literally no better than astrology. Perhaps but because for people have to better sense of astrology limitation. It is important to study economics, probably not because it is good to predicting things, but more to understand how most everything is made up, and then people uses economics to back things back into ideas roughly. The problem is not just all models are wrong or useful, but additionally the many models are harmful and unchecked. Submission. Economics is an interesting field to study. What is the root economy? Economists are flocking of Silicon Valley. Why you are reading to make sense of economy? How can I learn macroeconomics properly? How can I learn macroeconomics? There are around 230 to comment. I don't think it's possible to learn macroeconomics properly in sense that we that can learn quantum physics properly. I pick quantum physics because it's very expert agree on some of the tail end of the theoretical thing. What there are broad argument on the main part of it. Those main part are more average person will ever need to use. Not remotely true the respect of macroeconomics. It is absolutely true in that you can find even the orthodox economist or hedge fund manager or other practical folks if you prefer who look at the same situation and predict incompatible outcome. You don't even need to go down the various heterodox rabbit hole. People ostensibly operating from same theory routinely make obsessed prediction. It is still worth learning some of the vocabulary because it is useful to understand what people are talking about. Of course, learning is gratifying for its sake. Don't let anyone dissuade you if you that's what you still don't think. I don't think it makes sense to learn macroeconomics on expert level for a practical person. I don't think it's possible to define what expert level even is. uh, uh, uh. Saying if you want to 3 point ask. I am professional investor more than a decade experience in hedge fund, particularly in global macro and quant, managing my own and other money. Your three premises followed in particular. Last 3 years has been sure that it is to be a good investor you need to know macroeconomics. This is not true. It's true at macro event, central bank enterprises, but it's not true in that you need to macroeconomics expert to good investor. And understanding of macro you get from reading of your spare time to analyze good enough to use the basic of investment strategy. Although you may think what this will just let you make bad, best random marketing time decision. Even if you could become expert, that isn't clearing mapping from macro economics outcome to asset price. So you are not only read write about micro pictures, you need to write about the effect it will be have asset prices. Hmm. Economics is arena full of entrants interested with exploit of information estimatory regulatory capture that compete with not an economist but majored in economics from undergraduation including macro international public economist. I think it's great to public people to learn about macro, but I don't think you are going to get what you are looking for out for this. Economists are generally good at studying and trying to explain why things happened in the past. Like any other group of people, they are not good at predicting the future. Certainly not the stock market. Among the most amusing wrong prediction to me is the theory that was gaining steam in 2006 was that there hadn't been a recession in a while since come bubble. Maybe because newer companies would do all their design and research for themselves, but outsource manufacturing could withstand decreased in demand. Having married thread around economics, I can confidently say that I don't start asking why technology for that's a rumor advanced macro. It sounds like you are interested in finance, economics, or money banking. Having interested in these topics, I find that there are less about microeconomics as a whole, which is mainstream formulation. It is about national income or outcome, aggregate demand, general equilibrium, production function, the business cycle, and the more about the macroeconomics, particularly market of money, the market of the bond. I have solid grasp of microeconomics and then our national income outcome. Less important equal to national as well as a capital account identified. Some ideas about the migration cycle and maybe rate of article one. I had a dive into purely about money. Okay, you have to tool. You need to think about how to market work. The ideas like efficient market hypothesis should make sense. I have a degree in economics. Both in my parents have PhD in economics from MIT. Were professor of economics, but design of public. I grew up around economics, including multiple Nobel Prize winners. None of this anything to do with but at investing or personal level like nothing. In fact, I have argued that I probably harmful in my experience because people are over things. Economics as a profession has working terrible track record of predicting financial market on a broad microeconomic stand. At this point, I am not sure even clear what economics is for. What I can say that confident that it definitely not for place to start if you want to get better in investing. Ugh. Yeah, personally, it's really like Martin secretly advice on which can same factors of gram investing principle. Let's see other article. Lesson from American astronomizing. Astronomy economic period. Does it reveal IP address? No. Oh, so how can I learn macroeconomics properly? What are you reading? What are you reading to make sense in economy? What are you reading in sense of economy? 3,800 past height. Does there any sorting method making sense? Making sense in what fashion? To the what an investment or opportunity post public policy changes or what it look for job. To large degree, the economy is unknowable. That's why you can get two economists in the room and receive seven opinion. Don't get me wrong. There's good value there. It's just the economist. Economics is just old mix of philosophy and math. On my own cranky days, I call it astrology for people who know calculus. If you if the economy was were knowable to a degree that some economists claim to know it, they are billionaires. So my advice to scope down your question is something that it's more workable. Economists mostly agree with the statement. I listened to the National Association and Business Economist webinar yesterday presenting a survey expectation. Of course, to share there was difference in opinion and understanding. Opinion range. probably an impact of 50% GDP. You hear economists say things like guns and water do well in recession. The same idea applies here. What to do when need to do in this? This is what market. Outside of that, there are many different arguing ideas why you shouldn't, what to do, what under the whole issue. So, but quite intellectual people out there giving out their whole bunch of view around the things they know. I think we have covered 15 minutes already. Yeah, that's it for the video. We'll wish you in next one. Till then, see you again. Keep hustling, brother.